Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this special holiday edition of our May Marketing Bootcamp. And hopefully you are enjoying your weekend, being Memorial Day. For those of you watching this replay on YouTube or my blog, then I honor wherever you are today. For those of you watching this live, then I just wanted to take a moment and honor Memorial Day and thinking about those who gave their biggest sacrifice in order for us to be free. And I think about how I myself grew up on a military base over in Japan. And while neither one of my parents were actually in the military, my mom was one that served in a way, in that she was a teacher on this military base in Japan. And so I was always surrounded by, it was like being in a little America within Japan. And it was a very bicultural atmosphere, being that, even in my household, I'm half Japanese, half American, and I would spend some time, on the base and some time off the base. And so it was just a really, I look at it now as a unique upbringing. Of course, at that time, that was all I knew. But sometimes when I think about Memorial Day and the military and those who have served, I think about my upbringing because I was surrounded by those who were totally in service, which is a beautiful thing. And I think about how does that relate to entrepreneurship? Well, first of all, just being, whether you're in the United States or if you're not, in the United States, we get to honor the fact that there are those who have really served in order for us to be free. And for us entrepreneurs, we love our freedom. We celebrate our freedom. We create our freedom. And so I just wanted to take a moment and honor those who have passed and even honor those who have served. It's just, it's really awesome to think about those. So if that's, if you've served in the military or if you know someone who has served or maybe you've even lost someone, let's just definitely take a moment today to honor those. And I know sometimes we think of Memorial Day as like, it's a holiday, it's a long weekend, and remember why it started in the first place. And we can also certainly enjoy today and know that this unofficially is the kickoff to summer. So it's kind of a nice way to really honor that. So this week, so the last few weeks, and first of all, I'm so proud of you for being here. For those of you watching live on this holiday, awesome. Giving a shout out to all of you. The last few weeks have been all about, in this marketing boot camp, having you receive, hopefully, my Create, Connect, Offer system. So if you're just joining me for the first time, that's okay. My name's Amy Yamada, and I'm here to help you to deeply connect with yourself, your vision, and your ideal clients so that you can create the impact and the income, and today I want to say, and the freedom that you've always wanted. So this last week in our marketing bootcamp is all about your mindset, because I can teach you strategy all day long. You can Google it for free online, so this is why we focus on the mindset, because it's one of those things where, I was just talking to, I have a wonderful personal assistant that's helping me out with this big organizing project. And I was saying something to her yesterday, which was this. It's something that my mom used to always say to me growing up. Like if there was something that I didn't want to do, she would lean in lovingly and she'd say, Amy Lee TikTok, you know what you need to do. You just need to do it. And even though sometimes you don't want to hear that, right? Like sometimes I didn't want to hear that, but it was such a simple thing. It was such a simple thing and yet such a powerful thing to say. And so I have my own moments in my journey where I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do. And then I like to shift to, I know what I get to do. For those of you who've done leadership training, we like to change our language. I know what I get to do. I just get to do it. So, but in my mom's wise words, you know what you need to do. You just need to do it. And sometimes my experience of myself and entrepreneurs and in this human being experience is that there's moments when we have blocks in our head. And even when we know what we need to do, we don't do it, right? So even this morning, I was proud of myself. I made it to my boot camp this morning. And I stopped and looked at this really big quote on the wall. So this is down at Embody Health, right near where I live. It's an awesome fitness studio. And I looked at this quote on the wall and it said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, it's not an act." Excellence is not an act. I don't remember the exact words. It's an Aristotle quote. We are what we repeatedly do. So I took a moment and really thought about that. And I was like, that is such a great point. Like, if I think about what I repeatedly do, then I get to stand in my power and my responsibility in creating the results in my life, right? So what do I repeatedly do that is creating the results in my life, whether I like the results or not? And for a long time. I was on again, off again with working out, and now I'm getting into a really great consistency with my nutrition, with my workouts. I've got a great coach and great support around me, and it's like, we are what we repeatedly do. So if I see myself as a healthy, fit woman, rocking out my stage when I lead my Dream Big event in October, then I am what I repeatedly do. So I get to repeatedly take this time to make a decision and take care of myself and eat healthy and go to my favorite boot camp classes and do my yoga, like really do the things that I've set out to do for success. So it's the same thing in business. So the reason why I bring this up is that I love to lovingly check myself every once in a while, right? Like some of you have heard me say this, like sometimes I like to lovingly call myself out on my own BS, not in judgment, but just like, come on, I know what I should do. I know what I get to do. I just get to do it and not hold back. So there's some things that I wanted to talk about today about making decisions that are in line with your vision. This is one of my biggest messages that I'm so committed to putting out there in the world, because far too often, I will meet entrepreneurs who say, I want to do this or I'm going to do that, and I'm so excited, and people just need to know about this thing that I do or that I teach or that I've figured it out or I've overcome this obstacle. I really just want to help people. And then what do? They keep it to themselves. They don't invest in themselves. They don't go out there and put themselves out there to say, hey, if you are here and you want to be here, I can help you, right? They just don't take the steps. And if they're stuck in any area of their business, if they don't invest in that area to figure it out, like, I'm like, oh, it's such a lost cause. Like you have this voice that's meant to be heard in this world. You have this mission, this message that you're meant to put out there in the world. And if there's something stopping you, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a coach and I have awesome programs, which I do, of course, but there are a lot of great coaches out there. And if you know what your pain point is, like something that Jesse Itzler said to me stuck with me. He said, hire your weaknesses, hire a coach. And so that's why whenever I have finally made a decision, like I said, in my fitness, I've been up and down, in terms of just like really being committed. And now I'm just like, okay, now or never, this is it. I get to shine. I get to make this happen. So whatever that weakness is, whatever it is, you get to step it up, say, okay, clearly I'm not figuring it out on my own, and we can be loving to ourselves on that. So that's where hiring a coach or a community can be really helpful. So whatever area of your life that's in, I just want to share that because that's been the biggest game changer for me. That's why I am a big investor in my own business. And even though at the beginning I didn't have any money to do it, like none, zero, no credit, like I had to figure it out. And I knew what I needed to do. I just needed to do it. And I was so committed to coming up with a solution to be able to do that. So today's all about making decisions that are in line with your vision. So you can think about where you are in your business and even in your life. I like to think about this as beyond business. And where do you feel stuck right now? This is just a moment. Let's just all check in for a moment. Hand over heart. Where do I feel stuck right now? Where do I feel stuck? And you can write it down. And you can think about, okay, what am I repeatedly doing in order to achieve this result? It may not be a desired result. And what am I not doing? So whenever I've gone through difficult times in my life, a lot of you know that my most difficult experience was losing my mom. And that was back in 2010, and I think of her often. And I'm just so grateful that I had such a wonderful mom. And at that time, I remember that first year after she passed, I just didn't feel like the world should keep turning. It's just like, how does life continue on when someone that's so dear to me is gone? And in order to work through my grief and my sadness and my anger and my resentment, and just all the things and the ripple effect that, seeing all of my family members in pain, I just thought, okay, where am I feeling stuck right now? Where am I in pain? And for the first time in my life, I got over myself and I sought out counseling. And I met a wonderful counselor. I feel like she's an angel in my life to this day that I still once in a while go in for just to check in. I'm not above it. I used to be above it. I'd be like, I never need counseling. That's for people that need help, right? I used to have that old school mindset. Thank goodness I was opening up to receive. And she has carried me through some of the most difficult times of my life. So I just share this because it's all about making decisions in line with your vision and owning yourself and owning your taking responsibility and standing in your power, owning where you are and not standing victim to anything, no matter what has happened in your life. In fact, this morning I was also thinking about, okay, if ever you have had resentment towards another person, right? If there's any resentment or frustration or anger or something, remember that they came into your life for a reason, no matter what the reason was. And sometimes in the midst of it, we don't see that reason. And so I was thinking about this and thinking about how sometimes it's the people we love the most that can be difficult, or we see them as difficult. So instead of being angry and resentful and frustrated, you can instead think of things like, thank you, and then say their name for the lesson. Thank you, so-and-so, for the lesson. Thank you for the lesson. And then think about, what is that lesson? Because if you allow that person to take you sideways, first of all, you're responsible for your own emotions, right? You're responsible for what you're standing in. So if there's something happening and you're allowing somebody to take you off your A game, that's on you, right? So instead of saying, you know what, they can have their moment or they can have their way of being, and I get to stand strong and say, thank you for the lesson. Thank you for making me stronger. Thank you for making me stronger. So I wasn't even planning to go there, but I feel like someone was meant to hear some of that today. And so I hope that that's helpful. Okay, so shifting into something that I've heard many times from my own business mentor and others, which is this: success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. So in the spirit of, you know what you need to do, you just need to do it, think about how success leaves clues, meaning think about the people that you admire, that you see as the successful people that you allow to influence you in your life. So hopefully there are people that you look up to or admire. And notice what it is that they do. Notice what it is they do. So for me, for example, when I look at the people I really admire, whether they're, coaches or entrepreneurs or people that I just, Oprah, Tony Robbins, like what is it that they do? Where do I see that golden thread? Jesse Itzler, my mentor, Shanda Sumter. I recently went to Lisa Sasovich's event. I've had dinner with Taki Moore and Pete Vargas. Like, these people have broken through any limiting beliefs to get to, to really break through to the 7-figure, multiple 7-figure, 8-figure mark. And so they're no different than you and me. They just have done some deeper inner work and are so committed to their vision, and they consistently make decisions in line with their vision. And they never say can't. I mean, I shouldn't speak for them. My experience of them is that they are unstoppable, and I'm committed to becoming unstoppable. And I'm well on my way. I'm well on my way, because as soon as something comes up as an obstacle, I take a moment and say, okay, shake it off, right? Thank you for the lesson, obstacle. And I get to overcome this. I get to make a decision that's in line with my vision. And I get to notice the people around me, because success leaves clues. So what do I see successful people doing? So another action step that you can take, even today on this beautiful holiday, is you can write down, okay, what are some of the common, what's the golden thread that I notice in the people that I respect? So let me just think, okay, off the top of my head, when I think about the people that I really look up to, that set an example for me, first of all, like I said, they come up, my experience with them is they're unstoppable. There's nothing they say they cannot do. If they feel they cannot do something, they're like, I can do it. I just get to figure it out. It's a different way of thinking. Another thing is that they all seem to have a great morning ritual. They all seem to, and in fact, a lot of them get up early, but even if they don't get up early, they get up early-ish, and they have a really great routine. And they say things like, structure gives you freedom. I just heard Lisa Sasovich say this multiple times at her wonderful event. And so the more structure I've put into my life and my business, the more success I've had. Not just, and I want to be clear, it's not just in finances, right? It's not just in money, even though I'm welcome to receive it. I'm open to the abundance, but also in fulfillment and making a bigger impact and being one of the ones that gets to really stand for my message and my mission. So when I look at these people, what are they doing? They're putting themselves out there. They're creating a really powerful platform for the people they get to influence. And so I look at in what way are they creating these platforms? They're speaking on stages. They're doing Facebook Lives and putting themselves out there, whether it's convenient or not, right? They're doing online programs, and they're really sharing their gifts with the world. They're generously giving. That's another thing. This was a surprise to me. A few years back, I was at a mastermind, and Bedros, I can't think of his last name, but if you just Googled Bedros, 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 an incredible entrepreneur, 8-figure entrepreneur in the fitness world, and he was talking about giving like giving freely, like just being really generous with the information he puts out there in the world. Because I used to think, oh, you should only share certain pieces of it and then keep the rest, because otherwise, why would people invest in you? And so someone in our mastermind asked him this. They said to him, hey, Bedros, I have a question. What's the difference between what content you give away and what content you provide for your paying clients? And he said, I just took him like, he said nothing. And I was like, what? And so we're like, well, why would somebody invest in you if they can get your content for free? He's like, it's not about that. The content is out there in the world. In fact, people can Google the content. It's not like I'm the only person who's ever been successful in business. So anyone can Google this. So why hire a coach, or why join a community, or why invest in going to an event or a conference? He's like, it's all about access. It's all about access. So it's like they can write a book, right? Like I could write a book with my Create, Connect, Offer system or my Beyond You enrollment conversation and put it out there in the world, and somebody could purchase it for $15, right? So why would they hire me? Like, what's the point? The point is access. They get access to my community, access to my coaches. At the highest levels, they get access to me. And it's not because I don't want to give access to, everybody, but I'm one person, right? I'm one person, same 24 hours in a day. And if I want to make a bigger difference in the world, I get to create and expand my team and teach them and empower them in what I teach, so that I can have like all of us standing shoulder to shoulder to serve our clients and our community, so that I can continue to give generously out in the world. Does that make sense? Success leaves clues. So they give generously so that it's not about whether or not someone can afford them. They're just like, hey, if you're really in a dire place and you're not breaking through the mindset stuff yet, then study my work. My work is out there, and be respectful of my time and my team's time. Like, I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just really doing my best to put my best stuff out there in the world. Okay. And little Post-its that fall off my light thing. Otherwise I get off track. So, do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty powerful stuff, right? Okay. The next thing that I want to share is just really having a complete mindset shift to abundance. So sometimes I will see entrepreneurs who really want to do something, right? Sometimes it's even something I offer. There's a couple of people who are like, Amy, I really want to come to Powerhouse, California. I really want to be a part of the 6-week intensive, intimate group coaching program. And for 2 full days, having this retreat with like in an intimate setting with myself, my team. There's a few people especially 2 people are coming to my mind. They're like, I really, I'll do anything. And I'm just like, okay, I know that they are like working so hard to find a way to be able to invest in it. And the thing that's not shifting yet is their mindset. It's their mindset. So the first thing in shifting to the mindset to abundance is to see yourself as worthy. And I know it's easy for me to say, right? And I can only recognize or speak on this topic because I can relate to it. I can relate to the worthiness conversation. And fortunately, I surround myself with people that reflect back to me how much they see in me, so that's the other benefit of a coach in a community. So whenever I create distance between myself and another entrepreneur, like, oh yeah, that person's way up there, and they're like, why do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. And I think it's because I tend to sometimes revert back to a small way of thinking of, well, they're here and I'm here, therefore I am less than, instead of we're all here in this human being experience. And it's not about a hierarchy. It's not about a hierarchy. We're all here standing shoulder to shoulder, and why not me? And one of my clients the other day shared a really great quote with me that I've shared with a few of you, but saying, why do I think I'm so special? Like, I want to say to you, like, why do you think you're so special that you can't do something? Like, why do you think you're one of the chosen ones that is not able to do that? You totally have the ability, and it's not that you need to know everything. You get to take action and see what's in the gap, and then fill that gap. Like, fill it, figure it out. Like, what's, where do you get stuck? And then hire your weaknesses, hire a coach. And one might say, but I don't have the money. I remember that whole thing about I can't afford. Never, ever, ever, ever say I can't afford. Shift that to, it's just not a priority right now. It's just not a priority. It's just not a priority. And then if you say, but yes, it is a priority. Okay, then call yourself out lovingly and say, I get to find a solution. I get to talk to the coach or the event planner or whatever and say, okay, I'm committed to coming. I just get to find a way, and I'm not sure. And the best coaches out there, including my team, will say, hey, why don't we put our heads together and come up with a solution? Why don't we put our heads together and see how you can come up with that money and invest? Because I've seen people who have had far less than me invest in far more than me by just having the right mindset and saying, why not me? Life is short. Life is so short. And if there's something that you want to do, you get to go out there and do it today and not wait. Okay? So that is something that I really feel strongly about. Also, notice, so everything is a reflection, right? So when I think about seeing yourself as worthy, it's all about seeing everything as a reflection. So everything around you is a result of how you're showing up in the world. So again, it's not out of judgment. It's out about thinking about, okay, what am I not loving about this reflection of the world and people that I'm seeing back at me, right? So for example, sometimes I'll see entrepreneurs who they don't invest in themselves. And I only bring this up because they want to attract high-paying clients or clients at all in the world of coaching, because I know a lot of you are coaches or service-based entrepreneurs, and they themselves are not a high-paying client. So some of you might be like, ouch, oh, that hurts. Like that's me. Like, remember, I'm here to help you and help you have a breakthrough. So it's not about me and what I'm saying to you. It's just about really having you have a breakthrough. So if you're wanting to attract high-paying clients and you yourself are not a high-paying client of something, like some kind of a transformational experience, then there's something that feels a little bit off to me, right? So I feel very strongly in what I offer, and I believe in the power of coaching because I myself am a client to not just one coach, but a few coaches. And I invest at sometimes the highest level of what the coach offers. Now, I didn't start there, right? Because I got to start like in a program where I just really like worked on my business, worked on like really expanding and then investing at the next level. And I do that because I'm like, okay, remember that saying, we are what we repeatedly do. So it's just, I know I'm dropping a lot of like little golden nuggets here and like these quotes, but these are the quotes that have made a massive difference in my life to help me to make decisions that are in line with my vision. So I'm saying this so lovingly, if you are wanting to attract high-paying clients, or if you're wanting to attract clients at all in your area of expertise, then you get to think about, okay, where am I not feeling strong and where do I get to invest as well? And that really can help you in your enrollment conversations so that I can always relate to my clients, right? When I'm on a call with somebody, on a Beyond You call, I can always say, hey, I totally get it. Like just last week, I invested in this next thing and I asked myself, should I do this? Or is this a priority? Or, should I be investing this money? And then I remember my rule is like, make decisions that are in line with your vision, not your fear. No matter what, you're practicing something. You're either practicing fear-based, scarcity-based, taker-based. Sometimes I hate to admit it, but like there are people who just take, who keep asking for help and they're not investing in it, and it's like, okay, but think about the type of people you want to attract. Do you want them to just come to you for free all the time? Like give freely on bigger platforms. And then when you give more access to you, have them value you and themselves by investing. It's just something that the more I learn to set boundaries myself, and it's a lesson that I continue to learn, by the way, because I love helping people. And if I could help everybody one-on-one, I would. And I also know that that's not how I can best be used while I'm here in this human being experience if I want to make a bigger impact. So I get to continuously learn and practice setting boundaries in order to make sure that I'm being true to valuing myself and really making a difference for more people. And then for those who invest into my mastermind or Powerhouse California, or even at my VIP level, those are the people who have the most access to me. I hope this is helping some of you that are really wanting to take your business to the next level, have that next big breakthrough. So finally, and I am going to open up to Q&A, by the way, after this next segment. If you have questions, go ahead and post them. I'll also go back and read some of your great comments. So, by the way, great turnout today. Okay, so finally, in order to crush fear, okay, so we all have, sometimes some of you have seen me. I swear I should get like a little puppet. This is the little voice, like the little inner critic that comes up. We all have it. It's a little voice. And in order to crush fear and the inner critic to set yourself free, it comes up, like it doesn't go away. This is anything I hear. Like, I've built a multiple 6-figure coaching business and I'm working my 7-figure plan. It doesn't go away. The little voice that's like, who am I to think I can do this? It doesn't go away. I just have gotten stronger at crushing it and just saying, thank you. And I've got this. thank you, and I've got this. And it's not that this voice, it's not you, it's just representing a limiting belief, because at some point, somewhere in your journey, someone said that you couldn't do something, and you chose to make a belief around it, and you took it into your adulthood on a subconscious level, thinking that you're not able. That goes back to the worthiness conversation. So if you're wanting to crush fear and that inner critic, then start making decisions that are in line with your vision, because then fear is no longer empowered. If you want to empower fear and make fear really big in your life, so that's your leader, like fear is my leader. I'm going to just follow fear to the end of the earth, and I'm going to fall off the cliff. Like it's just not ideal. It's just not ideal. Instead, practice this way of being, of like, actually vision is my leader. Actually, my purpose and my message and my mission are my leader, and I am capable of figuring it out no matter what. And when I get stuck, I'm going to surround myself with people and ask questions to have that breakthrough so that I can crush fear. I can crush it. It won't go away, but I can, when it comes up, I can say, no, you don't get to make my decisions, because I'm in a new practice, and I'm going to continue to be in this practice as I really become the best version of me. And that practice is vision-based, not fear-based. So, okay, I'm going to scroll back. I'm going to look for questions, give shout-outs, and really honoring all of you for watching live on Memorial Day. It's really awesome. Hey, Shannon. Hi, Holly. Hey, Kelly. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Ella. Hey, Tamara from sunny Croatia. My goodness. Hey, Cece, I got your Voxer. We'll chat soon. It's awesome. Hey, LG. LG, super stoked about the topic today. Awesome. Yes, awesome. Shannon from California. Hi, Liliana. Liliana, are you in Fiji or the United States, or where in the world are you? She's always traveling. It's awesome. Let's see. On the road, I just saw that. Hey, Lisa G. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Sophia. Kelly says, yes, choices in line with our vision. Yes, Kelly's one of our powerhouses. Yvette, good morning. Okay, she said, good morning. I enlisted in the Army Reserves at 17. Argued with my mom in the recruiter's office because she didn't want to sign. LOL, boot camp is kind of my thing. Yvette, that's fantastic. I hope that you share with people your experiences in the Army Reserves and what that was like for you, because that, I'm sure there's things that tie into how you show up and the difference you're making in the world. Tamara, thank you for getting my quote accurate. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. It's great. Hey, Michelle Boss. Excuse me. Shannon, I'm wearing Just Do It across the chest. So great. Hey, Ken. Ken Carson, what's up? Long time no see. Hey, Megan. Okay, Wendy says, yes, I need to hear that. Thank you, admire you, and happy for you and your success. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Okay. Holly wrote down Bejos' last name. If you want to look him up, he's super inspiring. The hood of my sweater is inside out. Actually, no, it's not a hood. This is a Lululemon jacket, my new Lululemon. I'm a little casual today, so it's actually the style. It's not inside out, but thank you for getting my back. You know, it's like if there was something in my teeth, I would want to know. So thank you, Juan. Hey, Jody. Hi, Anita. Hey, Christine. Okay, January. Okay, January says, I don't think I feel unworthy. Do you think most people feel unworthy and dislike themselves? So January, that's awesome. If you're one of the ones that feels worthy and totally on point, then that part may not pertain to you. My experience of most entrepreneurs isn't necessarily that they dislike themselves. It's just every single entrepreneur I've ever coached personally, at some point in our journey together, as they've been growing and expanding what it is they're doing, they have said something like, Amy, I just have to say, who am I to think that I can do this? Or who am I to think that I can charge this for what I offer? Or sometimes I feel like I'm a fraud. Like, what if I'm not really an expert? Even though when I look at their background, they're totally an expert in their field. So January, my point is there are people who will say things like that to me. So my experience of most entrepreneurs at some point is that they say things like that as they're breaking through to that next level. So it's not, I don't think it's usually a disliking of themselves, although it may be, but it's just there's a worthiness conversation. So that's where that comes from. But that's great. If you feel worthy, rock that out. That's awesome. Hey, Sunshine. Hi, Lahia. Okay. Feels good to invest in yourself when you really feel called to do so, but be wise about it. Absolutely. Okay. Any questions? Scrolling. Kelly, I love being a powerhouse. Yes. Okay. Okay, so Liliana says that you are stuck and need to attend your training. Okay, so where are you stuck? Hey, Michelle. Hi again. Oh, yes, you're so welcome. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a great week. For those of you watching this live, I mean, it's been a great weekend. I mean, I hope that you've all been enjoying. I've had a fun, I decided to stay home because I travel quite a bit. And this time of year in the Seattle area is so beautiful. I'm like, why go anywhere? And I live in such a great, neighborhood in the area. So it's been a really cool weekend of a big organizing project. I've had an awesome person helping me with this, and she and I basically took everything off of my bookshelf in my office, out of my office closet. I've just been going through a lot of things. I don't know if any of you do this, but I think oftentimes when you move, you probably do this where you go through all your stuff. So even though I'm not moving, I just thought this would be a good chance to really release anything that's just taking up space in my home. I feel like that's another reflection of letting go. And so I've been going through all these old photos and photo albums and letters. And I actually came across it's when I do things like this, it's kind of this nostalgic experience. And I was going through all these letters. I saved a bunch of letters, and I realized that, gosh, I think one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about words and messaging is that I think there's been something lost over the years when it comes to actually physically writing letters. And one of the people that was so good about this was my mom. I have this whole stack of letters that are especially from when I moved from Japan to the United States for college. And she wrote me all the time. And then when I went from college to London and I did a work exchange program, she and my entire, I was in a sorority. And so a bunch of my friends, my sorority, just physically wrote these letters. And I just thought, gosh, so cool to have these letters to reflect on and remember those moments. Okay. Holly says, okay, one thing I'm dealing with right now is fear around hiring an assistant, even though I know I need to do it to grow my business. It's scary to take on that expense. What would you say to help manage that? Yeah. So Holly, you get to hire for the company that you want, not the company you have, right? So where do you see yourself in 1, 2, and 3 years? And think about, who do I get to hire in order to make that happen? And every single time I bring on one more person to my team, I have that voice. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm committing to investing again, committing to a monthly investment that is now that next level up. And it still feels stretchy for me. And at the same time, it's vision-based, and it lights a fire under myself and my team to continue to expand the business so that we can make the difference we want to make in this world. So remember, Holly, that your vision is bigger than your fear. Your vision is bigger than your fear. And think about what would be stretchy and something you can wrap your head around in order to make that decision. So let me give you an example. When I first hired the first person to support me, it was on one project. And what I thought, I made that list. I think I told you about it, where it's what would my dreamy assistant do for me? What could I take off my plate? Because for a while, I was a solo entrepreneur. I did everything. And if you think about it, if you want to expand, think about any business that you, if Amazon, if the founder of Amazon tried to do everything by himself, what level would he have gotten to, right? Disney. If Disney had tried to do everything by himself, what would he have gotten to as a result? So it's not that we all need to be these huge corporations. And if you're wanting to really expand, then think about how if you keep being every single department in your business, at the beginning, I believe we all do it. But if you keep being every department in your business, that means you are the coach, you are the service provider, you are your administrative department, you are your marketing department, you are your collections and accounts receivables department, you are, the list goes on, and it's just not setting yourself up for success. So to bring it back, what I did was I thought about, okay, what would be something stretchy for me and something I could wrap my head around in order to take this one step forward. And so I believe that I was having this assistant help me on one project. So it was just for the project. So I didn't commit yet. I was too in my fear, to do the consistent monthly retainer. So and I knew I would still do part of the project. So I made a list of the things, and we had a conversation, and I said, does $500 feel fair for this part of the project you would be handling? And she said, yes. So it was $500. It felt stretchy at the time, but I was committed to taking that step. And then from there, seeing how we work together, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than doing it on my own. And I thought, okay, what would be stretchy, like still way out of my comfort zone, but something I could still just barely wrap my head around on a consistent monthly basis. And I'm trying to think back now. I want to say it was maybe 500 or 700 on a monthly basis. So that felt really stretchy for me. And I was already investing in a coach as well. So just taking these steps one at a time. And then it's about trusting yourself. I got to really trust myself and have faith that when I open myself up to the universe for abundance, then it's taking steps to succeed. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Oh, Kelly, you're so sweet. Thank you. Megan says, I'm doing a flash sale to celebrate my new home and I'm currently uploading a promo video I recorded yesterday. Any tips with outreach? I've never done a flash sale before. My plan is to put it on all my platforms and a quick newsletter as well as text some potential people. Yeah, so Megan, I know you and I have had the joy of working together in the past. And so what I always do is I also think about who do I already know that my offering, my package will make a difference for. And I make a list of those people, even if it's one person or 50 people and anywhere in between or more. And then I also smile and dial. Like I just reach out to them saying, hey, I was just thinking about you and I'd love to catch up. And I also have an idea I want to run by you. And so we initially catch up and then I say, okay. And then I also want to make sure that my offering is right for them. So I don't assume, even if they're one of the people that comes to mind, because maybe they already have that piece handled. If they don't, then I'll say, it was so great catching up with you. As I mentioned, I do have an idea to run by you. And I have this new package that I created. And when I thought about who this could make a difference for, you were one of the people that came to mind. And after catching up with you, I feel like this could really make a difference for you still. So do you mind if I share that with you? And then if they say yes, then I say, great, here's what it is. And it doesn't have to be salesy or pushy or any kind of bait and switch because you said that you're going to catch up and you have an idea. And you also ask for permission to offer it. And oftentimes, even if somebody that I reach out to doesn't say yes, they always thank me for thinking of them. Just as I would thank someone for thinking of me if they thought something would make a difference for me. Now there's those fine little things that can be not ideal. Like if somebody reaches out to me saying, hey, I have this thing, do you want it? And I'm like, you don't even know where I am or what my vision is or if I have that piece handled. So before you just jump to that conclusion, it can be a bit of a turnoff. I always watch myself to not go into judgment because I know that they're just doing their best. And then I lovingly say to them, I've actually already invested in that or I'm already good, but thank you for reaching out to me. And if they're my client or someone who's open to feedback, then I also say, hey, one thing that might help you out in the future if you're reaching out to people is to not assume that they need it and really connect with them first. That's why I'm all about connection. Okay. So yeah, but I think your ideas are great too. Is like really, like I like to say, make some noise. So put it out there. And then just, keep letting the world know what it is you're up to. And then also be generous. Like one thing that my coach always says is give to give. Like this, I committed to doing this May Marketing Bootcamp to give, knowing that anytime I give to give, there's always a percentage of people who want to chat with myself or my team and that want to go further with us with our powerhouse offerings. So it's there is a win-win there. And I also am happy to give to those who, even if they're not ready or if at least in their mindset they're not ready, at least hopefully they take some of these steps, they can grow. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let me just do a little time. No, I'm going super long today. Okay. I'm going to take one more question. Yvette, I'm still trying to push past the fear of being a sucky copywriter and not getting my messaging right. I usually face my fears, afraid of heights, jumping from planes, ziplining, rappelling, but putting pen to paper seems to paralyze me. So I'm not being as loving to my list as I should be. Yeah. So, Yvette, I mean, I really feel like you're such a perfect candidate for Powerhouse California. I only say this because I go deep into my copywriting training, like my deep connection copy, where I take you step by step by step by step in how to do that. And, Yvette, you and I can also jump on a call and I can at least give you some tips. I believe you've already talked to some people on my team. And this is where I really feel like if there's way for you to open up your mind to possibility, even if you have other commitments, this is the gap. This is the gap that you get to close. And if, I would love to be able to help you like really deeply so that you can really fill this gap. So the way that I make these types of decisions is, so for example, last year, I know I've brought this up before, I invested in a $10,000 speaking coach. It was a 1-day intensive. And it's not like that was easy for me, so I want you to hear that. And I also, here's the key thing. I knew that I would do the work, like I would fully show up and do the work in order to rock it out on the stage and further stages, so that I trusted that I would get a return on my investment. And so something that has helped me is like, okay, knowing what I offer, like what packages I offer, how many of these package would I need and get to sell or enroll clients into to break even for that 10,000, like how many? And do I believe that on the other side of this, right? Sometimes we focus on the pain and the stretch we're in now, or whatever's going on in our life now, instead of seeing like what could be possible on the other side of this. And all sorts of stuff can come up, by the way, when thinking about that. Yeah, but like I have my own yeah buts. Yeah, but what about this or what about that? And oftentimes I'll hear entrepreneurs say, yeah, but Amy, you don't understand. I've got this. And I send so much love to you because I've seen people who are far less able in how they, like in their circumstances, and then far more able in their mindset to just make it happen. And so whenever I am in a moment of feeling I can't do something, I'll look up like the most motivational video and I'll see someone who has much less than me doing far more than me. I'm like, I get to figure this out. Like I'm going to lovingly call myself out and figure it out. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll come back later and check some more of these out, but I hope this has been helpful. I know I went a little bit longer today. I just wanted to focus on giving and sharing and knowing that all of you are here to make a massive difference. I honor where you are. I'm sending you so much love. Enjoy your day, and I will be back on tomorrow. Mwah. Talk to you soon. Bye.